Hey, it's WHYXXVI, and I'm telling you guys that for a reason. I wanted you guys to hear that first before I went anywhere else. Now, just a quick explanation about why I call myself this is because I've seen the number 26 for several years, maybe 10, 15 years. I've seen it every single day, and it happens in the most supernatural ways, and it's God speaking through numbers like he usually does with me. And it's something amazing when he does it. I don't know why he does it. I don't know, why he does a lot of things, but he is the Alpha and Omega. So at the end of the day, I'm going to listen. But I found out years later that 26 actually was a number of God. And I didn't know that until maybe 4 or 5 years ago, maybe 2018 or 17 is when I figured it out. Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to go on to what I want to speak about today. So today, I want to speak to you about why I think we're already 3 years into the tribulation. Now, this is this is where I'm coming with this. I know some Christians may say, "No, the 7 years haven't started yet. Jesus is going to take us before the 7 years." Well, I don't think so. Jesus never said he was going to take us specifically before the 7 years, and we can jump to think any conclusion that we want, but if it's not, in his will, then it's not in his will. So it does say in the Bible that the first 3.5 years are not going to be as bad. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but it's going to be the first 3.5 years are not going to be as bad as the last 3.5 years. So we are going to be in this next couple months here, where it's not as bad as it will be after that. So I'll tell you the reason why. All right, so the reason I told you about my name first in the number 26 because uh, something's falling on 2026, which I just found out. So, okay, let's start from 2019 with the germ, whatever you want to call it, the germ, the big germ. All right, so in 2019, the big germ hit everywhere across the world. Okay. Um, who was most affected by the big germ? If you ever Googled who actually got hit the hardest by the big germ, and that was the United States of America. All right. So the United States of America got hit the hardest by that situation. You would think that with all of our technology and advances in medical and everything else, that we would have this thing under control, but we did not, and we got hit the hardest. Well, it's funny about that because in the Bible, okay, we're going to bring this back to Scripture. And I think in Genesis 15:13, I could be wrong, but I do think it's Genesis 15:13. God was having a conversation with Abraham. Now, this is about to get somewhere else for a second, but just hold on. Hear me out. God was having a conversation with Abraham. In that conversation with Abraham, he specifically stated that your people, Abraham, he's talking to Abraham, your people would sojourn in a land, sojourn, meaning they would be in a land that are just kind of like hanging out or just kind of be there, like they got taken there. They would sojourn in a land that is not theirs for 400 years. Now, God is very specific when he says numbers. It wasn't 430 years. It wasn't 396 years. He said 400. Now, understand when God says something, he means it. If he says 400, it is 400. Okay, that's what it is. It's unshakable. This is the king you're talking to here. There's nothing. It's unshakable. Without a doubt, concrete. Funny enough, slaves got here. African slaves got here in 1619. In 1619 was the first case of documented slaves to hit America. I believe there was 20 of them. Again, I could be wrong, but I do believe there was 20 of them, 20 or so. 1619. Do 400 years from 1619. 400 years from 1619 was 2019. I'm going to have to pause there for a second. Excuse me. 2019. Okay, let's do those. Let's do that up here. So from 2019, it's 400 years. We had our first case of the germ in 2019. God says in the Bible that once those 400 years are up, I will then judge that nation that did that to you. Okay? Judge that nation that did that to you. Okay. Again, I'm paraphrasing, but he says, I'm going to judge that nation who did that for you, meaning that African Americans, okay, as the so-called African Americans, or as I like to call them, the Hebrew Israelites, the original Hebrew Israelites, where were the ones of ancient days? Okay, so seeing that it's been 400 years since you guys, well, not you guys, we'll say the since the Americas, and there was more people involved into it, but that's a whole other story. Took us here. The nation that did that, which was the American nation, is now being judged, and they got judged starting in 2019. Now, if you look at it, who got hit the hardest out of the germ? And if you Google it, who got hit the hardest? It was the United States. Interestingly enough, who had the most deaths during the germ? It was the United States. Interestingly enough, you would think with all the advances we wouldn't, but we did. Even funnier, after 2019, we run into some more plagues, if you want to call them monkey butt or whatever it's called. I don't know, monkey something. Monkey this, that's affecting a large portion of people, okay? And then there were some other diseases that came out the woodworks that were known to be gone since the ancient, since the Renaissance era, and now they're back. Or they flared up in a few other states. We don't know, the true depth of it, but we're in it, and it started in 2019. Okay. All right. With that being said, I came across something very funny today, and this is the reason why I told you my name first and the number 26, and the reason why this has hit me. There's a Bible from 1814. Bibles from it was from 1814. A Bible. It's actually made in 1813, but it's published in 1814. Usually published a year later, but published in 1814. Okay, it says from 1814, we have already been in the Bible. In this Bible, it says we have already been on this earth now. This earth has already been established for 5,788 years. Okay, again, I'll say this. This Bible from 1814 says the Bible has already been, says the world has already been established for 5,788 years. It says, whereupon reckon that from Adam unto Christ, there were 3,974 years. I do believe that. I'll read it real fast. It says, give me a moment. I do apologize. So it says, wherefore reckon, okay, sorry, this is going to be the part in the video where we gets upset with me. Okay, so wherefore we reckon that from Adam unto Christ are 3,974 years. From Adam until Christ were 3,974 years, 6 months and 10 days. Okay? It says that this years, then the whole sum and numbers of years from the beginning of the world until the present year is 5,788, 6 months and said 10 days. Okay? So it was 5,788 days in 1814. So we did the math on that. So 5,788 days from 1814. I'm going to pull my calculator out right now. Okay. So if that's the case, I'm going to take 2022, which we're in right now, minus 1814. Okay. That's 208 days. Okay. So now I'm going to take 208 years, excuse me. I'm using days for years. Kind of like the Bible, but yeah, that's me just being an idiot. But so 208 years since this Bible was first printed. So we were 5,788 years already, like it says in that Bible. So 5,788 plus 208 years, which brings us now. We're now 5,996 days, or years into this existence on this planet, which would give us 4 more years left, which brings us out to 2030. and 26. Interestingly enough, Mr. 26 again. So if that's 2026, let's do the math now. I've been saying for years now that the tribulation period started in 2019. We're already 3 years into it. What's the math from 2019 for which are supposed to be 7 years of the tribulation? 26. 2026, my friend. So let's just run this back real fast. I told you that I've been seeing the number 26 myself personally for 15 plus years now, every single day. And God does things, amazing things I can show you pictures of that just happened to me that says random 26s on them. I'll get a whole receipt full of 26s. It's weird, strange. I told you that I do believe in 2019 is when the tribulation started. I know there's going to be Christians going to fight me on this and say, hey, man, no, we haven't started yet. I don't think so, guys. I think we started in 2019. And I think we are already 3 years into the tribulation. And I do believe within the next coming months or under a year, we are going to see some drastic change in the world. And it's going to get nasty. It's going to get nasty. And then we go into the 3.5 years of being with the Antichrist and the plagues and this and that. The Euphrates River is drying up. All these other different signs are happening. Wars, rumors of wars. Of course, that stuff's been happening for so long now. But we're seeing it to the point right now where it's just undeniable. It's just absolutely undeniable that the days that are said within the Bible are upon us right now. Look, I could sound like a crazy man, or some of you guys will research what I'm saying right now and maybe find that I'm not lying to you, and I could be telling the truth. Lastly, what's even funnier, I don't know if you guys remember this, and hopefully I didn't say this in the beginning because I can't remember if I did or not, but I don't know if you guys remember this, but in 2017 or 2018, there was a slew of trumpet sounds in the air. Okay, now if you live on this planet Earth, you may have heard something about that because they were in every country. They were everywhere. Now it's funny. I personally heard that noise, and I think I may have some recorded footage of it. And if I can find it, I'll throw it on Instagram or maybe throw it on YouTube, whatever. But there's some on YouTube. If you just go search up trumpet noises in the air, I think it was 17, 18 around that time where there were trumpet noises, and scientists can still not figure out where that noise was coming from. It literally sounded like trumpet noises, like screeching and trumpets being blown in the air, and it lasted for a while. I was outside, my daughter was really young. I actually fell to my knees and started praying because as a man of Christ, I already know what that noise probably is. So I went straight to the first thing that I know. And if you guys know me, you know I was down there. I was floored. Because I heard that, I'm like, okay, call me crazy. Now that all this is coming to light, guys, I do think that was the last trumpet. I do think that was one of, if not the last trumpet, the one to the last trumpet, or that was the last trumpet. Where did that trumpet noise come from out of the air across the entire world? No one can explain to us what that was. No one knows what it was to this day. There's never been a good excuse why we heard trumpets from one side of the earth to the other side of the earth. The only one that can do that was God. We're all just beating around this right now, like, oh, maybe it just, things happen. No, nothing like that's happened to where across the entire world you hear a trumpet sound. That is on a biblical scale right there. That is God reaching out to his people saying, listen, don't let the world mislead you when you're hearing this. This is what this is. This is a trumpet playing across the world. Now, with all the science we have today in our tiny brains, we're going to try to make something up and say, yeah, we're going to go, yeah, it was this and that. Like, no, dude, that's what that was. Anyways, I do feel like that was the last trumpet because lo and behold, a year later, my friend, Dun dun dun. The big germ. Time starts. Here you go. Wow. Do the math. Do the math. Anyways, God bless you all. I wish you nothing but peace and happiness and health. Take care of your family. Take care of your finances. Take care of everything that you need to do because something is happening right now. And I'm not here to freak you out. I'm not here to press the line on you. I just want to warn you, if this is what I think it is, something's about to go down. And it's time that you get right with God. You need to get right with Jesus first because God says you're not right with his son, Yeshua. You're not right with him because he holds the keys to life or death, hell or heaven. God bless you, my friend. Take care.
And lastly, if you are wondering what this is based on, it's based on the 6,000 year prophecy in the Bible of the world only having 6,000 years. So if you're not familiar with that, just Google it. I'm not going to tell you where to look for it in the Bible because most of you guys probably have never even read the Bible. But Google it and it'll bring you directly to what chapter that is. And if you guys are wondering what I'm speaking of, it's due to the 6,000 year prophecy that's in the Bible. Now, you will have to go to a few scriptures to understand that. But if you do some YouTube on it and Google and do some research, God will lead you directly to it. But it is in there. But it's also more direct in the Gospel of Barnabas. Saint Barnabas, like Barney, Barnabas. Yeah, so the Pope thought it was good for him to hide this stuff from us a very long time ago. And for what reason, we have no idea. But that's what he decided to do. And but there's a lot of books that weren't canonized within the Bible, that such as the Book of Enoch and a few other books that are very descriptive in the end times and even the history of this world itself. But yeah, the 6,000 year prophecy is a real one, and do some research into it. And I hope this helped. God bless you. Get ready to go home. He's coming back. Yeshua, Jesus. He's coming home, man. This is going to be amazing. People have thought I was crazy for a long time. Although I may sound like it sometimes, I'm not. Anyways, God bless you all. Take care. And if I don't see you around, I'll see you up there in another town in heaven. Little dad humor. Not funny, but okay. Take care. God bless. Peace.